To go first, actually.
Yeah, we're right on time.
Okay, so afternoon everyone. My name is Harry, this is Izzy, and we'd like to talk to you about forward capital. Today we live in a carbon bubble. Each of us tries to do the right thing. We try to buy electricity from a renewables company. We drive an electric car. We try to be zero in our plastics. We try. Okay? But in reality, the money, most of our money is in pension funds and investment funds. And that's invested by invisible people to us. And 80% of those investments are in high-intensive CO2 industries. And how do they do it? By staying invisible. Okay? And the other half, they do it by distracting us. And they distract us with things called green finance and green bonds. So I'm really sorry anyone in that industry. And why? Because it's a classic distraction. Only 1% of the total bond market is invested in greens. So even if you doubled it, tripled it, multiplied it by 10, you're not moving the needle. If you really want to move the needle, brown finance is where you have to go. We had a long debate about calling our group 50 Shades of Brown, but we decided not to. Okay? Brown finance has no hurdles. Green finance, you've got to fill in forms, you've got to explain your impact. You've then got to have follow-up every single year. Brown finance, no. As long as you've got a great return, we'll invest it, and we get our return, and we move on. So this is a systemic failure. And it's not going to change, because we'll carry on doing all our little things, yeah, and the big guys will carry on doing it because really they don't give a shit. Yeah, they're interested in their returns, and as long as that happens, they're absolutely fine. So this is urgent. It's a systemic change to sustainable finance, but it's not a simple intervention as you've probably figured out. We need a movement. It's a call for movement, and Izzy's going to take you through.
Here at Forward Capital, our solution is threefold. It comes in three phases: reframe, champion, and apply. We think that this comes in the form of a program that will be carried out through an NGO that we find or create, and will follow up through the next 5 years. So phase one, reframe. We want to reframe the narrative surrounding the thinking of green and brown bonds. We want to come up with a very simple reframing. It's not about, if it's not green, if it's not contributing to our own safety, protecting us on the spaceship, then it's brown. It's dirty, it's destructive. And what does our ideal situation look like then? A fully transparent about the underlying effects that relate to environmental, human, and social capital, effectively pricing, reflecting the cost of these effects. In a sense, we are moving towards a more compassionate and socially minded financial system. This would include new rating methodology to include climate risk into assessment, transparency about impacts, government regulation on top of this rating. Secondly, champion. We want to find champions within the financial system to enact this ideal system. We want to find pioneers, leaders with a passion for this vision. We want to find an ecosystem of experts within the system who can consult in the ways this ideal financial system can be realized, but then go forward to also act this out. And these could include financial market regulators, market players such as asset managers and bankers, and people who have credibility in the system and who can translate our vision. We can look to examples such as Mark Carney, people who have already done this in the stranded asset and disclosure. These results of this are a little bit undefined for now, and it could include anything from technologies to enable transparency, for example, to a complete evolution of the financial system. And finally, apply. We want to apply this to equality in financing everywhere. Our final goal will be to apply this to all financial asset classes. Thank you.
We need you to join us.